Well, happy lunch hour. It's an unusual time for me to come on, but it's just sits between some things that I've got to do today, and it seems important to share because it's hard to add up, I think. It's very intense, this energy. In the last maybe hour, I've been feeling it really strongly in my head. Hello, Michelle. Welcome. And we're kind of we're who knows how much more extreme and how much more intense this will get. But we are learning to be adaptable. We are learning to look for the good within it. We're learning to know that this is how we break down to break through. So that's what came through this morning. I have some notes that are just from the last few days, and they are. I want to say that they are very moving, and so don't be surprised if I come into tears. So I will just bring up those notes which I have written here. So there's this from yesterday, which some of you will be feeling today, and some of you may have felt earlier than me. But these are just the notes from the last 2 days. And so there's a little story about love and connection, and then there's some notes from that are more generic. So this was from yesterday, and I know that there were lots of people who responded to this. So if you didn't read my post yesterday, I felt like this. I feel blown wide open. My heart is so vulnerable. Emotions are running close to the surface as though wait a minute. Oh, there I am. As though at any moment I may fall apart and the emotions may leave me limp and vacuous. That was how I felt. I felt like there were just emotions streaming in me, around me, through me, out of me, and yet I felt empty. And I didn't know what was going to happen with those. It was an interesting place to sit. We are in renewal. We're in transmigration, of course. That's the bigger thing from as you know, from the carbon-based molecular structure into this crystalline silica. Someone sent me something this morning that had a more detailed aspect of that, as us shifting from 6 protons, neutrons, and something else into 7 protons, neutrons, and something else. Sorry, I can't remember the third element, so I won't make it up. But yes, no, and I won't look because I need to just stay focused here. So we are in renewal. It is unknown and it is undiscovered. We are the pioneers here. No one has done what we are doing. And so it is that we are traversing an unknown territory all the time. It is unknown and it is undiscovered. And what we do know is that it will be great, it will be amazing, it will be exciting, and we need to traverse gently, mindfully, in present moment experience. So we're not taking ourselves into the suffering of what we are not, but we are just dealing with what we are, what our current experience is, and what is occurring right now in this moment. And there's a lot, of course, there's a lot. So we can just attune to exactly what is in our precise location, body, and moment. But definitely everything is a movement, and that is both within us and within our beautiful beloved Gaia. So also a reminder, I was reminded to mention again, or to let you know if you didn't know this, that our ley lines are now golden. So they have been showing up as like these undulating golden ropes, and with a lot of movement, like this. If you imagine having a wet skipping rope and long, and one person on one end and one person on the other, and it's gold, and you're flicking it like this, so you're getting this kind of snaking movements. That is what I'm reading the ley lines as being and doing. The quantum entanglement of all things and all beings is changing codes and movement and even position. So, this all links into where people may be feeling pulled to be somewhere else, or, lots of indicators about the being pulled to be home. And so that is definitely showing up in the real tangible. And it doesn't mean forever, but it is my read of the energies that many will be pulled to touch their feet down on the land of their birth. You may feel uneasy, but you will be okay. It is just a transition. And so this is the story that I want to tell you, and I've called it a story of conscious connection. You can link it to a story about divine partnerships. You can link it to a story of the twins. You can link it for a story about divine conscious partnership. So this is a story came through yesterday of love and connection. It is set. I was taken to the halls of records and the ethers. So that's the Akashic records and the ethers. And this is the story. She arrives on a white unicorn. He on a white dragon. They land on the platform, dismount, join hands, and walk to the main doors. They are met and hugged like family, then ushered in. There is a dance going on in the grand ballroom. All the conscious leader pairs are present. So if you have been to the Akash with me, the ballroom is the space. If you move into on the main platform, the ballroom is when you go left and through. After you've gone through the main doors, you go left and you travel along there until you come to a kind of internal corner, and there's a big double doors. That's the ballroom. So if you're looking to travel there to have a look, that's how you can locate it once you're at the halls of records, floating in the, well, that's how I see it, floating in the ninth dimensional space is how I view it. All the conscious leader pairs are present. An announcement calls all to arise to a higher platform of frequency. The old is bid goodbye, and now they all stand in circle, quiet, still, contemplative, in creation mode, calling, pulling in the codes. Sorry, I'm starting to feel wobbly on the inside. Envisioning the new. The common energy creates, like the deciding vote, like the democratic election, if it was done fairly and justly. So it's like the bigger the majority rules. So remember that this is where we are at. We are having our own empowerment through holding our own energetic vote. And so as we are able to hold this higher frequency from open heart without too much judgment, allowing what isn't true to dissolve, keeping on aligning with our internal energy, with our higher self, with what is true for us, with our purpose, with our mission, what is authentic, then we are holding space in this higher way for the change to come. New species, new practices. Then this group arise again to the higher and yet stranded, not as in cast, but stranded with strandings running through from the higher to what is below, leading the way for creation of partnership and of union, to hold dominion with this, Yes, winged, Christed, connected, guided by the grandmothers, the holy mothers, clean and disciplined in human form. So that is a call to you to be clean and disciplined in your human form. It makes it easy to hold presence and be a bridge for the new conscious creation bubbles. The purpose is love, love of self, love of one another, unconditional love sits here in these partnerships. So you can read that as a story, you can apply that to your own connections if you wish, you can feel into the energy of that. But I was deeply, deeply moved by that story of connection I was gifted yesterday. Today, another layer of breakdown and breakthrough is available for all these energies today, which are pristine and have a sense of being sharp and penetrating like shards of ice. What sits there for you, ready to bust open? Where are you holding on in your body? What are the deepest, darkest aspects of you wanting to give up, wanting to reveal, wanting to finally release? This day may be very challenging, evocative, provocative, edgy and uneasy, but so close to a breakthrough. This is the gift available in the energies of today. Will you allow them to help you? Use the energies of the day to explore being comfortable in the prickliness, to go a layer deeper to the deepest and darkest parts of self, to smile recklessly at the doubt, at any doubt that you might have about anything, especially about yourself, to laugh outrageously at your own darkness, to fall to your knees in acknowledgement of how incredible you are in all aspects, in all polarities, from the darkest and the deepest well to the highest, brightest, sparkling light. All is held within you. Can you appreciate yourself for all you have been through and all you have faced and accomplished? Make some room for that within your heart today. The new upgraded sacred heart space is being prepared to be gently anchored in. Feel the beauty in that and acknowledge yourself with passion and understanding. As you are learning to surrender to a deeper level, allowing and trusting your higher self to take the reins and lead you home to yourself, to your higher, conscious, divine self. We are all being guided to connect to our own creation codes and to be in co-creation with Gaia and with other ascended beings. So much love is held here for you. And I will just put that at the bottom so I can see if there's anything in here that any of you might wish to share. So hello Michelle again, and hello Beachweave, and hello Sally, and hello Arctos Girl. She's saying she dreamt that she was with a group repurposing churches for their resonance value. Yes, because they hold that, don't they? And recently there was a little, we know because we can feel it when we go in there. And there was recently an article somewhere about the rose windows in the churches. So I know that when I travelled through France, for example, that my friend and I, as we were travelling through France, we would find ourselves in churches that were empty. We would be the only ones in there, and we would be singing our way through and around and clearing out the energies. Let me see here. I'll just put something else in here so I can read the rest of your... for the resonance value as sound healing places this morning. Yes. Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that for repurposing churches. Yeah, so they really are these incredible wells of resonance frequency and vibration, and in terms of the materials that are used, and in terms of the iconography that's in there as well. And then it's the sacred purpose in many cases, isn't it? And it builds. So the resonance build, the frequencies build. If you have not done this, I would really encourage you to play some beautiful sound toning or music toning in your house on repeat for a few hours, and then turn it off. And I swear that every time I've done that, it's been turned off and I can still hear it. I can still hear the song. I can still feel the vibration. It's as though it becomes this resonant echo within the space. And Michelle's saying she heard that church bells have healing frequencies, and also that most of the bells in the USA have been removed. I have heard the same thing, but not just the bells in the US. I think that applies in many places because they were set to healing hertz, is my understanding. And so they will, all of this will be restored, I feel. Churches will be restored to be holding loving space for people to be in sacred communion with themselves in community. And so a lot of this will be part of our restoration. But yeah, this last couple of hours I've been in huge energy in my head, like very pressurized. So it wasn't my experience earlier today, but it's been my experience the last couple of hours. But we really are in this new, yeah. So I just invite you to feel into that, to feel into the resonance, to be, I need to go and get my feet out on the wet ground now, to go and ground yourself in if you're feeling this extra energy. Certainly dreams are becoming more vivid and more weird. Yeah, I think more weird, certainly, and yeah, more vivid. We're accessing the higher, the older, the more ancient. We're moving into the, I want to say we're moving into the creating our own reality, and that maybe that's part of the weirdness, that it sort of breaks some patterns. But it is challenging and it is exciting, and we are right on the edges of all of this. So hello Stacey, Ace, hello. Different subject. Michelle saying could not fall asleep last night for hours. I think that the sleep thing will move in and out depending on where each of us are at and where the photonic light is at, because it's definitely, that's how I would read the impact of our not being able to sleep, is that's the speed. It's the speed of the photonic light that's coming in. I think yesterday I had this sense of that we were releasing, I don't know if I've written this or not, but sometimes it's even hard to keep up with myself. But yesterday, I think, anyway, sometime in the last little while, there was this whole sense of as though another layer of debris was being released from the earth, and that even if we were feeling okay in here, that we were feeling it around us. It sort of showed up as though there were a whole lot of big swirling portals that were releasing debris from the earth. So a whole, to me anyway, it showed up as like an entire new layer of debris being released. So it was not necessarily anything to do with you per se, but it was moving through our field as it was exiting. What else is in here? Yeah, so Michelle, I believe that that's the reason that sleep is in and out and a bit more elusive at the moment, because the speed of the speed of the electrons, the speed of the spin is impacting and coming in with the photonic light, which is having this impact in our molecular body. So that molecular spin is speeding up. We're becoming more available to the light, to the crystalline, the transmigration in our bodies from that carbon to crystalline. And so this is all having this impact of our, we, making adjustments, and we'll move through to it. Hello, BU. And what else is in here? Sharp poking in the different nerve lines, inner ear, next to the jaw, crown, heel, legs buzz every night. So who else is having things like that? How can I make sense of some of that? Definitely, I want to say that the nerve endings, I mean, I want to say that's an incredible level of sensitivity that you have, that you can feel the different nerve lines. To me, the mycelium of the earth and our nerve endings are in this dance, where they are being kind of re-enlivened, reawakened, and so it's like running these energies that are making us feel a little bit on edge because they're new, but it's like a level of our physical bodies is being I guess it's back to those words: evoked, provoked, enlivened, like we're having current run through them that makes us come into the higher, into expansion, into more ability to be in connection with what's around us through our physical bodies. So I think that will be one of those things. The inner ear next to the jaw. Yeah, so in here, yeah, I wonder. We'll see if I can find out about that. There's an acupressure point in there, like at the top of the I'm so useless on the names of things. I'm really sorry. But where the jaw meets, there's an acupressure point in there. So you might find that pushing, rubbing, moving that around in there might help that. To me, I have been shown, and I believe that the jaw and the teeth and the gums is where we store a lot. So we store a lot of negative energy in there. The things that we do when we are, gnashing our teeth or sucking our thumb maybe, or even sucking the tongue. But all of that stuff is related to resentment. Resentment shows up in the jawline to me, and the gums and the teeth, and anger, and on and off for the last while is like as though someone's kind of says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Viewers will experience a buffering. I've never come across that before. That's interesting. So maybe you're losing me. Yeah, so to me that's been to do with my clairaudience awakening or opening or increasing. Sharp pain in the heels in the past couple of weeks. Okay, and yes, that's what Arctos Girl is saying as well. Yes, Michelle, I have no idea. I just read read the message, if you heard it, the message that came up on Facebook, which made no, sorry, on my screen, across my screen from YouTube, which made no sense whatsoever. Anyway, I am back. Somebody saying, oh, so interesting. My DM has just had jaw surgery ×2, and that is so accurate. Okay. Yeah, like we all hold bits of this puzzle, and that's why sharing it is good. It's kind of affirming, confirming, reassuring, because it can feel as though we are on our own a lot. It can feel like this journey can feel so lonely. And for me, I wouldn't say that the lonely is loneliness. It's aloneness. I feel like I have to do so much of this on my own, which is not accurate and true, but I have those feelings some days. And so I think this is the time where that's going to be closing off, as well as these partnerships come in whatever form they may show up or not. But that's the time that I feel that we are in the physical, and we just have to be aware that we are fighting the good fight, really, but from a passive point of view, but from owning ourselves, and that there's still interference going on, and we will rise above it. And so that whole thing that came today was touching in that regard. Stacey, left ear has been so itchy, tried everything. This has been since July. I saw a nurse practitioner and she said nothing is there. Yeah, I wonder I wonder what people would say to the idea of dropping a couple of drops of castor oil into the ear. That might be worth a try. Okay, yeah. So in a way, Michelle, it can feel like that, but there's also the idea that you're not, because energetically we are connected to our counterparts and we are connected to one another. And yeah, I think that doing what you just said, letting him go to his own path, there's some significant power in that, the leaving space, the creating a space, the vacuum is felt. All right, so fantastic to see you all here, and who knows how we're going to be like traversing this next little bit, but we're here together. We can help to hold one another by sharing what we're going through, and to know that we're not going through this on our own, and to know that we are on the edges of so many things over this month for sure. And it'll be interesting, and we can just stay in our childlike wonder and curiosity about how is that going to show up. And today it feels like it's this kind of like shards of ice. That was what came this morning for me. It's like shards of ice sort of poking me. Come on, what else is in there that you need to have a look at? Come on, what else have you hidden away in the shadow that you haven't wanted to face? And so for me, I've been finding that is the case in terms of Mel, I think, was saying about the weird dreams and the things that are coming up, and for me also some kind of I have to say some memories of things that have happened in my life that took on a new nuance. I began to see them from a different vantage point, which was kind of a little well, I don't even know what word to give it, but surprising, I suppose. It surprised me, but it felt more true. The way that I was showing some things, it felt more true, and yeah, so I just think that we're in that time of being, we're coming into our mastery. And so we're able to handle more of this. We're able to look at it in a detached way and feel it and recognize that in the feeling of it, we can process it. We can look at it, we can soothe it, we can like pull it apart, we can see where it sits, we can feel it in our body, we can have a conversation with it, we can invite it to shift, we can invite it to expand, we can invite it to dissolve, and all of those things are ways that we can process some of these things in the physical. So I am going to wish you a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day, and I'm heading off shortly, but I will be in touch, and I'll do some writing, and I'll hopefully be able to post it on there. And yeah, I it feels good. It feels good what we're going through. It feels I don't even know what the words are. It feels exciting. It feels unknown and exciting, and we just can, cross the bridge just one step at a time and be enjoying the view from the higher perspective down into the ravine, if you like. All right. So much love to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you again soon. Bye.